In the quiet, picturesque town of St. Michael's, nestled deep within the rolling hills of Ireland, a centuries-old church stood as the heart of the community. Father Declan O'Malley, a kind and devout priest, had served the congregation for decades. But in the winter of 1923, an insidious darkness descended upon him. It began with whispers in the confessional. Father O'Malley's penitents spoke of unsettling dreams, of shadows that seemed to dance in the corners of their vision. Some even claimed to have seen the devil himself in the church's flickering candlelight. Father O'Malley dismissed these confessions as products of overactive imaginations until the nightmares started plaguing him too. Night after night, Father O'Malley dreamed of a shadowy figure, cloaked in black, with eyes that glowed like smoldering embers. It beckoned him, whispering blasphemous words that wormed their way into his soul. He woke in a cold sweat, clutching his rosary, unable to banish the haunting visions from his mind. As weeks turned into months, Father O'Malley's once charming demeanor eroded. He grew gaunt, his eyes sunken and haunted. His sermons, once filled with hope and love, became fiery tirades of doom and damnation. The townsfolk, once devoted to their beloved priest, began to fear him. One fateful evening, as a torrential rainstorm battered the town, Father O'Malley stood alone in the dimly lit church. The candles flickered ominously, casting eerie shadows upon the worn stone walls. A voice, not his own, emanated from his lips, reciting ancient incantations that he could not comprehend. Terrified, Father O'Malley rushed to the confessional, desperately seeking guidance from the bishop. But the sinister voice spoke through him again, revealing a dark secret. The church had been built upon an ancient druidic site, a place of ancient power and darkness. The bishop arrived the next day, accompanied by a team of scholars and exorcists. They uncovered an ancient altar hidden beneath the church, engraved with runes of unspeakable power. It was a gateway to the netherworld, and the priest's unwitting presence had awakened its malevolent spirit. The exorcism was a harrowing battle as Father O'Malley fought to regain control of his own body. The entity that had possessed him resisted fiercely, unleashing torrents of dark energy that threatened to consume them all. It was only through the combined strength of the bishop's faith and the ancient rituals that they managed to cast the malevolent spirit back into the abyss. With the entity banished, Father O'Malley's body lay still, his once vibrant spirit broken. He was no longer the man he had been, a shadow of his former self. The church, tainted by its dark history, was sealed off and abandoned, a grim reminder of the horrors that had transpired within its sacred walls. The townsfolk mourned the loss of their beloved priest and the innocence of their church, forever scarred by the possession that had torn their lives asunder. In the eerie silence of St. Michael's, the memory of Father Declan O'Malley and the malevolent spirit that had possessed him would linger, a chilling testament to the enduring battle between light and darkness. In the wake of the horrifying events at St. Michael's, the town fell into a deep and somber silence. The once thriving community had lost not only its beloved priest but also its place of worship, forever tainted by the malevolent presence that had dwelled within. As the years passed, whispers of the possessed priest and the haunted church became the stuff of local legend. Superstitions grew, and the townspeople avoided the area around the abandoned church at all costs, even in daylight. It stood as a brooding, decaying sentinel, its windows shattered, ivy creeping up its walls, and an air of malevolence that seemed to repel all who dared to approach. But for some, curiosity proved stronger than fear. A group of intrepid teenagers, drawn by the macabre tales of the haunted church, decided to investigate. Armed with flashlights and their collective bravado, they ventured into the crumbling structure, their footsteps echoing eerily in the dark, silent nave. As they explored the forsaken interior, they came across the confessional where Father O'Malley had first encountered the malevolent entity. The wooden door creaked open, and a foul, cold wind rushed out, chilling them to the bone. Their flashlights flickered, casting long, shifting shadows that danced along the walls. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the darkness, not the harsh, sinister voice of the entity, but a gentle, plaintive one. It was Father O'Malley, or what remained of him, his spectral form trapped within the confines of the confessional. His eyes, once warm and kind, now held an expression of torment. "Help me," he pleaded, his voice trembling. "I am trapped here, a prisoner in my own body, cursed for eternity." The teenagers, paralyzed by fear, hesitated. They could feel the malevolent presence stirring, lurking in the shadows, hungry for freedom. But their compassion for the tormented spirit overcame their terror, and they made a pact to release Father O'Malley from his eternal suffering. With trembling hands, they began reciting ancient prayers of exorcism they had found in old texts. As the words filled the chamber, a blinding light erupted from the confessional, illuminating the church in a brilliant glow. A deafening roar shook the building as the malevolent entity was forcibly expelled, its screams of fury fading into the void. When the light finally subsided, Father O'Malley stood before them, his spirit free at last. Tears of gratitude filled his eyes as he thanked the brave teenagers for their selfless act of kindness. With a final, solemn farewell, he ascended into the ethereal plane, leaving the church behind forever. The haunted church, once a place of darkness and despair, was bathed in a warm, radiant light. The townspeople slowly began to return, drawn by the newfound sense of peace that had descended upon the cursed grounds. The church was carefully restored, and a new priest, Father Liam, took up residence dedicated to bringing solace and hope to those who sought it. In the end, the tale of Father O'Malley and the possessed church became a story not of darkness, but of redemption and the triumph of goodness over evil. The town of St. Michael's learned that even in the darkest of times, the power of compassion and bravery could vanquish the most malevolent of forces, leaving a legacy of hope for generations to come. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to leave a like and don't forget to comment and subscribe for more stories like this.